you know a bit about the public servants in the city who have this highest level of integrity, and now we get to converse with them. Four of the five are educators, so I figure the best way to kick off this conversation is to set some structure to it, and we'll keep it going in alphabetical order. I think that's like the best way to go. um, I'm curious to know what it feels like to be the first, to be the first to receive this honor. And just to again kind of refresh the order that will go in: Carlos, Richard, Dr. Abaya, Shaquita, and Thomas. That'll be the order. And with that said, Carlos, let's start with you. What does it feel like to be first?
It feels amazing uh, because I mean, honestly, I couldn't tell you. I think the last award I've got was high school for like perfect attendance. So just to like get the email and be like, hey, you're gonna like, we're honoring you. And I was like, wait, what? So that was really cool. It's amazing to see like people from our community that we have volunteered with, nonprofit organizations that we worked with, that our students worked with, that like went out of their way to nominate us. Once I found out who nominated me, that was really, really cool. And yeah, it almost brought tears to my eyes. And the most exciting thing is just for my students to like be a part of this and to see this and to see that there's organizations out there that are recognizing people doing the right thing. And yeah, I'm super blessed to just be with other four amazing people and to just read and learn about their journeys and yeah, just be inspired and know that we're doing the right thing and yeah, we're getting the attention for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Richard, what does it feel like to be the first to receive this kind of award, the Integrity Icon Award? You are an icon, sir.
It's very difficult to wrap my head around that, to be honest with you. But but it's an amazing feeling. Not so much that the award is obviously associated with me personally, but it's amazing because it really validates all the great work that my staff does every day, the amazing efforts that our students put in every single day. And it's an opportunity really to highlight that partnership with our families, to know that they're really striving to do the right things to make sure that they are not only better their their educational experiences, but they better their communities. They strengthen their families, and we all do it in truth and in collaboration with one another. And it's just an amazing opportunity to truly highlight the community that we've all built up together. This happened not because of one person, but it really happened because of the fact of the matter is that I have really great families and great students and great staff members who act in integrity every day. And I like to try to be as best a reflection of their efforts as I possibly can.
Got you, got you. Okay, so one of five icons going next to Dr. Abaya. Um, you're an icon, integrity icon. What's it feel like to be one of the first?
So I definitely share everyone's sense of honor and humility. I think it's a real privilege for someone to name you in that way, and to uplift the work that we do. I also play on a team. I echo what Richard is saying. You may hear my daughter right now. Um, I echo what Richard is saying for sure. I play team sports. I definitely, but all the places where I work on teams. And so I think that this is also a deep encouragement to the people that I work with, all of whom are phenomenal and operate with integrity at all times. And so I think I'm very grateful for the opportunity to also shine a light on what they do.
Yeah, no, I'm a mom too. We're all in this, whether it's, we have educators here. So I'm just surprised that for a lot of our educators, the background is as quiet as it is. Salute to all of you. So we want to go ahead and keep it moving. Um, Miss Shaquita, you are an icon, integrity icon. How does it feel? What does it feel like to be the first?
I think it's very surreal. Still kind of haven't quite accepted it, but I think I echo what everyone else has said, that it's very, you know, it's very humbling. But at the same time, it's kind of like, yes, somebody is finally noticing that, with all the four educators on this panel, that it's like, yes, we really are, boots on the ground in Philadelphia and really helping with, education and just really uplifting what it should be. And so it's just very humbling and very honoring and also extremely surreal. So I actually get a little uncomfortable with like celebrating me. So it's been really hard and so I won't say hard, but just a little like, I get that little blush every time somebody congratulates me on it. So it's still, new to me.
I completely understand, but you all are totally deserving of it. So I hope you just all of you receive your flowers in this moment. And last but not least, Mr. Thomas Quinn, icon. You are an integrity icon. What does it feel like to be one of the first?
It blows me away, actually. Just looking at, because we're not really the first. I mean, I'm really honored to be among these four people, but where are they? They're in Mexico, Nepal, South Africa, so many other countries. And the people that have been honored, given this honor, are just, it's really humbling to be, a part of that group. But yeah, so.
Got you. Got you. So I'm curious to know where, or maybe I don't want to say where, like that moment when you first started to understand for yourself what integrity is, what it is and the importance of it. And we can keep in the same order. Again, Carlos, kicking off with you. But, again, the question, when did you first start to understand what integrity is and the importance of it? Carlos, going to you first.
Can you say that one more time? I apologize. I have students here asking me questions.
Tell the students we said hi and we love them. So the question is, when did you first start to understand what integrity is and the importance of it? No pressure.
No. I mean, I noticed what integrity was. I mean, to be honest, when I was younger, and specifically like in my 20s, I started to like learn who I was as a person, and I didn't like who I saw. And I realized that I had built like a life and a foundation and a home on a foundation that wasn't the best foundation to have. So I lied a lot. I was really manipulative, and I decided to turn my life around and try to be the complete opposite. And I would say that probably happened around like 27. And I found mentors and I found people, and I was given a lot of forgiveness from people who didn't have to forgive me. And that inspired me to really like take a 180 and to just dedicate my life to being of service to other people.
Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how much I appreciate and just stand with you in this moment of transparency. And I think that's why, platforms like this and opportunities, these kinds of conversations are so important so that we can all kind of take off whatever mask it is that we may be wearing in that moment and just be completely transparent about the process of being a person of integrity and the transformation that comes with that. So thank you so much, Carlos. Let's go to Richard. Richard, again, just running the question back. When did you first really start to understand what integrity is and the importance of it?
Integrity is not, it's not something, you do, it's who you are. And, I had the opportunity to learn that fairly quickly when I was young. In seventh grade, my father was incarcerated, and unfortunately, my brother and I was 12 at the time, he was 9, and we were actually left in the house with no utilities in the house, no food in the house, and we were stuck there for 2 days living off of support from our neighbors and off of their charity. And so we had to, we eventually had to make our way to our mom's house, who lived in Philadelphia, but she wanted to resume our education in New Jersey. So my mom actually, unfortunately, made arrangements so that we would continue to live in Philadelphia, but we went to school, in New Jersey. And what I saw a woman who got up every morning for 6.5 years to get up and drive across the bridge every day to New Jersey, knowing that she had to be to work at 8:30 in the morning. She would get up 5 in the morning and make sure that we made it to school. every day without fail to ensure that we got a great education. And she was just committed to her children and willing to really sacrifice for the greater good. And so I just learned about that integrity, that commitment, that understanding that that commitment to somebody else, that sacrifice you're willing to make for someone else to ensure that they are able to have a better life and have a better station. And so, to be able to live with that example in my early formative years was something that, has always carried with me. And it's always been really the motivating factor behind why I do the things that I do when it comes to education.
So Richard, if you feel comfortable with it, will you say her name? I just want to make sure we honor her greatness.
Sure. Cecilia Watkins, she currently now lives in Pine Hill, New Jersey, and she's probably the most wonderful woman I've ever met.
All right, Miss Cecilia, we're sending you love and light and all the good stuff that life has to offer. And so with that said, thank you so much, Richard, for your transparency. Let's go to Dr. Abaya. And again, bringing the question back, when did you first start to understand what integrity is and the importance of it?
So I'm going to follow in Richard's footsteps and shout out my parents, who I think modeled integrity for me long before I could pronounce or spell it. So I think that I kind of came up under people who were pretty committed to the concept of integrity in their personal and professional lives. And I grew up in a little bit in the United States and a little bit in West Africa and in Nigeria, and saw a lot of corruption, specifically in government in those environments. And a lot of that filtered down, I think, to people's common experience. And there definitely were many moments where you had to make a decision about what kind of person you needed to be. So I feel like I recognize integrity by seeing it modeled by the people around me, specifically my parents. So I feel incredibly grateful for that. And I think that I recognized as I was kind of coming up through my education and all the other stages in my life that you enter these crossroads a lot where you have a decision to make about how you're going to handle a particular problem, how you're going to overcome a hurdle. And I think through a combination of good and bad decisions, realized that when you make the decision that is a decision that requires integrity, that you never come back to regret that. And that the benefits of integrity are sometimes delayed, but they're always worthwhile. So ultimately, I think that I have to thank my parents for helping me learn that, but there are always ways in which we learn the hard way. And I am grateful for those experiences as well.
Wow. Okay. I'm just going to sit at everyone's feet here and just take in all these gems for life that you all are dropping. Oh man, Dr. Abaya, that there was so much, just life guidance and wisdom and just that short response that I really hope folks are listening closely to what each of you are offering in this moment. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go to Shaquita. And Shaquita, I am running back this question. When did you first start to understand what integrity is and the importance of it?
So I started out most of my life being a people pleaser. So it wasn't until recently that I really really truly understood what integrity was. I mean, you hear the word being thrown around and people say it and you really, you kind of think you have an understanding of what it means, but I didn't really get an understanding until I started exploring myself and trying to get to know myself better. Through therapy, I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. I'm going to implode. Because I'm trying to please everyone while maintaining who I am at the same time without compromising it. And I was also seeing people who just didn't have integrity being awarded or rewarded for the bad behaviors that they were doing. And it just wasn't sitting well with me. And so I decided to go to therapy. And in the process of going to therapy, and of course with church, the pastor was doing this ceremony, these 5 pillars, and it was honesty, integrity, and we really just talked about, and for weeks on end in church, we talked about what integrity was. And it just so happens that we were doing the same thing in therapy. And so I learned about what integrity was there, and I learned that I can, I'm not going to get a me from everyone, but I have to maintain who I am at all times, because I know what my purpose is, and I have to stay on that path of my purpose. And part of that is maintaining my integrity. So yeah, it was recently. When I say recently, I've only been in Philly for 7 years. So if that gives you any indication, within those 7 years.
Listen, they say 7 is the number of completion. And I have to say, you all are giving folks a lot of tools and insight to be able to like grow and heal from, or with, I should say. So I'm so glad and thankful to be saving space and to be in this moment with you all. It's absolutely beautiful. Thomas, coming to you. Again, running back the question, when did you first start to understand what integrity is and the importance of it?
Well, I can't think of a particular time. It was definitely a growing process. I don't feel like I had a whole lot of integrity as a young person necessarily, but definitely you know, kind of grow, and I'm still growing with you know, figuring out what integrity is and making sure that you know, as a teacher, being in front of kids and you know, working with students and knowing that that's you know, part of a life, that's an important life skill to develop. That you know, and it's just ongoing. Yeah.
So I was listening to, of course, your videos and your responses to some of the questions that were asked there. And I know, Carlos, you mentioned something that was passed along to you from your mentor, and that being the first thing that you can do is change yourself, like when you're looking to have this greater impact. And I feel like a lot of you have spoken to kind of those moments of either making that decision to change yourself or recognizing that in some capacity it's going to start with you, right? Like you do have some level of power. I'm curious to know from where you all sit right now, um, where do you see the change going from here? And when I say going from here, I mean going from you. What is that ripple effect that you are looking to create? Be it, you know, daily or just big picture, whatever that means to you. Where do you see the change going from here, and here being you? And we'll stick with the same order, and Carlos, kick off with you.
Thank you. That's a great question. I see the change flipping from figuring out like top down, right? Waiting for people to show us the way and like and wait for other people to decide what it's going to be like for all of us. And specifically with We Love Philly, it's how can we, my students and I, create a platform to inspire people to work from the bottom up and help people self-actualize. I know that's a strong word, but like help people realize what their power is and what they can do, and then use We Love Philly as a platform to help them achieve that. So I think the change comes from bottom up. How can we find the people on the ground, like all the people in this room? How can we empower them and give them the freedom, the time, maybe the compensation to to run and really make those changes and then inspire other people, because more of us are fighting our way up than are waiting, like receiving things from the top down.
Listen, I just want to put it on a record, pay all of the folks here more, okay? Whoever is responsible or tied to that, pay them more, all right? Going to Richard, again, you know, where do you see the change or hope for the change to go from here, and here being you?
Well, it's my hopes. It's really my hopes that this opportunity continues to validate the work that obviously we're all doing. These are 4 spectacular individuals that I have the pleasure of sharing the stage with. So, and for me, the change for me really is in the work that we're doing, because again, we have these fantastic teachers that are working their behinds off to do such a great job, and it's allowed me the opportunity to really use this platform as well to kind of to really chase my passion, which is we've got to start dealing with the issue of poverty when it comes to how it impacts our children and how it's really holding them back for the successes that they are really should be entitled to. And right now I have an opportunity to not only have this platform, but also as the 2021 National Principal of the Year, I have a national platform now where I get an opportunity to be able to speak about that. And so we're expanding our school from beyond academics to now getting into poverty initiatives that not only are we deriving, at the school level, but also, hopefully encouraging and eliciting that support from entities and individuals outside of the school to really help us with developing this pathway forward. And so I think that Carlos really said it best, that, I concur with everything he just said, that we are the change that we're waiting for. And so we have to really start building from the bottom up and making sure that we are using these opportunities, whether it's here or any other platform, to really go, really to use that to really chase our passions and really try to make a change and impact on the ground, so that we can really help to better really the lives of every Philadelphia citizen who is struggling, particularly through these crazy times over the course of the last year.
Yeah, yeah, no, thank you so much for that. Dr. Abaya, where do you see the change going from here? And of course, that change starting with you.
So I feel like I was very specifically and intentionally mentored. The thing that would, I think, really encourage me would be to see young professionals, specifically young women of color, take on entrenched problems in their communities, things that seem unsurmountable, the 30-year problems, the 50-year problems, and start to build the solutions. I'm thinking right now about John Lewis. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for young people to start a process that they may not see resolved in their lifetime. And I think sometimes we all have a little bit of a short attention span, but the problems that need our attention are the ones that are deeply entrenched. And I would love to see us start to recruit the youngest and most energetic among us to use the skills they have that we don't have, their social media skills and all the things that they know how to do, to really start to work on these incredibly entrenched problems, so that when they have grandkids, they can tell a different story.
Listen here, let's lean on the energy that far too often, and I'm not speaking for anyone on this panel, we don't have because we're old. Not speaking for anyone on this panel, though. Of course not. Now let's go to Shaquita. Of course, the same question. When you think about the change, the impact, the ripple effect that you hope to see, what does that look like for you, especially knowing that to a degree, like it's gonna start and come from you?
I don't think I'm going to share anything original than what the other panelists have shared, but definitely I think that I have been mentored. The universe has put me in places or in the pathway of certain people, that it wasn't just one mentor, it was several people throughout the course of my life. And just suddenly to be where I think there was no way, and then suddenly there was a way through the person that you think is the least likely. And receive that mentorship from them. I think that the way is to do the same thing for those that are coming up behind me, and make sure that I'm, showing that integrity at all times and can grow them to do the same thing and to do it better. So they'll be, better visionaries than I can possibly be. And they will also grow leadership beyond them as well, and do the same thing. Because I want to sit back in my retirement, hopefully sooner than later, and just smile at the students of Philadelphia as they are coming into those leadership positions, whether they're in education, whether they're in politics, whether they're in any position of leadership within the communities of Philadelphia. And I just really want to sit back and smile at that and just and relish in
Take
it.
it all in. Take it all. Yeah, take it all in. All right, Thomas. Last but not least, that ripple effect that you play a major part in, that change that you want to see. Where do you see the work that you're going, the impact that you hope to have? How do you see that playing out, or hope for it to play out in terms of change in Philadelphia and beyond?
Yeah, well, as a teacher, I would echo what Dr. Abaya said about, it taking a long time. It seems insurmountable, and things are a long haul. And one of the things as a teacher is to really try to help students to figure out, well, what are the steps along the way? Like specifically, how do you actually do that? Like, step 1, step 2, step 3 to make change along the way. And working with Shaquita a lot in the curriculum office to put together, a curriculum that really does help doing that. And then getting that out to teachers. So, my sphere, right, is going to be my fellow teachers. So I can say, hey, here's what these teachers are doing and what I'm doing and these teachers are doing. Let's put this together and share this so that our students can then take it and try to figure out, well, what are the steps to not only vote, but to advocate for yourself in city council and in the Board of Education and elsewhere. So.
Got you. Well, listen, I know we got to get ready to keep this program moving, but one thing I really do believe in is passing the torch. And so I'm super curious to know if you could nominate or suggest or highlight anyone who you feel should be the next integrity icon. And they can be of any age, any background, a Philadelphia citizen, who you see walking it like they talk it, right? Who would that be? Just name drop it out there. And Thomas, I know we have you pulled up on screen right now, so we'll work we'll work backwards this time around. So Thomas, let's start with you. No pressure.
So, wait a minute. So you caught me by surprise there. So someone we were.
Who you would nominate? Like if you could nominate someone for an integrity icon.
Oh, yeah. My neighbor, Ms. Naomi Swint, has been she's been a committee person and block captain, and just been, on top of everything happening in the community for since the 1950s, right? Since I was born, before I was born. And she's just amazing and really an inspiration.
All right, there we have it. And let's go to Shaquita. Who would you nominate as an integrity icon?
That is such a hard question. Can I give you a list of 5?
I mean, I guess, but you got to make it quick, though. You got to make it quick.
So that's really hard. I think of all the amazing teachers, and one of them is on here, Tom, Quinn, Brittany Jennings that I work with from Constitution High School, who are just doing this work that we're doing as well, and really believes in it. Also, my supervisor, Dr. Nishawana Thomas Francis. Oh my God, I could go on, so I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to stop. Ishmael Jimenez. Okay, I said I was going to stop.
Gotcha. You look like you're about to come with another one. All right, so let's go to Dr. Abaya. If you had to nominate someone for a Integrity Icon Award or recognition, who would it be?
I mean, I have the same struggle that Shaquita had, but I think probably, in addition to my direct bosses and mentors, who I am just so grateful for and who are amazing Philadelphians all, I'm actually going to name a couple from my church, Dave and Katie Brindley, who are they just do the most. Everywhere that there's a problem, they find a way to speak to that problem. And so they have their areas of passion. And then when there's a new need, they have just true heart. And so I'm going to nominate them within.
Got you. Okay. And Richard, who would you nominate for an icon, Integrity Icon Award?
Well, I'm quite biased, and I would actually pick one of my teachers. Her name is Hanako France, and with her amazing work, also social studies. So I think there's a theme going on here. But her amazing work, not just because I'm looking at the work professionally, but also her work in the community as well. So somebody who takes her time and actually coordinates sessions in the park during the pandemic to ensure that students are always keeping up with their studies and giving them extra support and collaboration time working with students. Her work with great Gay Straight Alliance, programs in our building. Her work with the Philadelphia Student Union and advocating in front of City Hall and doing testimonies and things of that nature. She's really a better candidate than me, to be honest with you. And I would definitely have nominated her if I had the opportunity to do so.
Gotcha. Wow. I'm so thankful to like be learning about these folks who are a part of your lives, your work, and on your radar. And last but not least, Carlos, who would you nominate for an Integrity Icon Award if you could?
I would nominate Malika Gilpin. So Malika is a huge inspiration to me. She is the executive director, founder of One Art Community Center on North 52nd Street. She has welcomed myself and my students to volunteer. She's welcomed us into her organization, and just the work that she's been doing the last 20 years in West Philadelphia, and just who she opens her doors to, gives opportunities to, brings local business people into her home, and really gives them the opportunity to build community, as I mentioned earlier, from the ground up. And yeah, I don't think I would be here right now speaking right now if it wasn't for Malika and the trust that she has put into me.
Wow. Wow. Beyond moving. Well, listen, I think I'm a little bit over time, but I had to ask that question. So I hope you all just appreciated that moment that we shared together. But there you have it. We've officially met and gotten to know our inaugural US 2020 Integrity Icons. Again, a very special thank you to, the Accountability Lab and the Philadelphia Citizen for not only inviting me to be a part of this process by way of WURD radio, but to play a small part in recognizing greatness among us. And so with that said, Roxanne, back to you.
So, I mean, I'm going to start this the way you started. Wow. And I'm really in awe of all of you and really inspired. You are all doing incredible work. And so congratulations and thank you. And Principal Gordon, congratulations for being the People's Choice. So the way the process worked, we had all of these, we had tons of nominations from Philadelphians all over the place in all different categories of public workers in Philadelphia. And we had this incredible panel that narrowed it down to these 5 candidates, or 5 integrity icons, because all of you are integrity icons. And then we asked everybody in Philadelphia to vote. And Principal Gordon, you're having a good year. This is you were the People's Choice. So congratulations. Everybody's applauding. I wanted to quickly, I was remiss in the beginning for not thanking Andrew Benson, who made that amazing film that we sent out with the icons that helped to tell everybody who you all were. And in lieu of an in-person gala, which is what this was supposed to be, we sent you all a party bag. We sent a party bag to each of our icons with a whole with a party, which hopefully you will take to celebrate, including a bottle of Prosecco, and I am toasting all of you now. A Citizen Pink neon lightning bolt and cookie trophies from Sugar Lux, which is Khadijah Ford from the Food Network's Cookie Wars made those for you, and a certificate for your wall. If any of you have them around, you can show us all. Otherwise, just please enjoy all of that. And hopefully we'll be able to catch everyone in person soon. For all 5 of you, all of our judges, everyone who's here tonight, thank you. And we are looking forward to doing this again. So you will have some other integrity icons that you can be a part of. And we are all going to take inspiration from this conversation tonight. So thank you all.